All right, we are live. Let's see here. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live Friday live with me, myself, Vince, and a little messy here, but that's okay. Clear things up a little bit so you can't see the mess. But all right, guys, I really want to talk today about humans. Human capital. What is human capital? So there are 4 capitals that are very, very important, intangible capitals that when you are scaling a business, you have to keep aware of. One of those is human capital. Those are the people that are around you. Those are the people that are in your business. So those are the people that help the machine run. Cannot tell you how important it is to have really good human capital. What else does that also include? Also includes making sure that you have a good culture of people who are just willing to work hard and really to get after it. And then what's most important about having good human capital is, quite frankly, it is the fact that, well, it gets you as the owner out of your business while things can keep going and keep moving so that you could focus on really the creative side and the scaling of that business, the big relationships, the finances, making sure that's all in order and everything is sort of just moving. And also, even if for some reason you need to take a break or you want to take a vacation or something like that, it's very, very important to have the people in place to keep the engine going. I cannot tell you how important it is. Now, how do you do that? Well, I would say number one, we can go to another capital that's called the structural capital. Structural capital is very important as well, which is all of your SOPs, your processes. It is whatever is in your brain, putting it on paper to make sure that everything is repeatable and also transferable, which means you could take your business and all of the systems and all the processes and all of the operations that are in there, and you could literally put it into a box and give it to someone else for them to repeat it. You want to be able to have all of your systems and processes in a way where you can give it to somebody who knows nothing about your business and they can go ahead and repeat it. By having that, it makes the human capital work that much better because they know exactly what needs to be done at any given moment. Very, very important. Because if not, you're just going to be stuck in your business all the time. I was literally talking to an entrepreneur just yesterday, and basically what we were talking about was there was no SOPs in place. You do this same thing the same way every single time, yet you are the only one that knows how to do it, which means you become the bottleneck because if you don't have the time to do it, or if you're too busy doing something else, it won't get done. As opposed to if you could put that process on paper and then train somebody else to do it, you now not only don't have to do it anymore, but you never have to do it again. I'm very grateful for the people that I have around me on my team because they're able to do so much of the stuff that either I'm maybe not capable of doing or just don't have the time to be doing. And it's a lot of training. It's a lot of coaching. It's a lot of making sure that they're getting developed and they're doing the things that need to be done and learning the things that need to be done. The other way that you increase your human capital is by really spending time with your team. Spending time and developing your team. Developing your team is so, so important. I used to think when I first started my entrepreneur journey that I technically, maybe subconsciously, didn't want to teach them too much because I didn't want them to just learn so much that they went off on their own and then they would ultimately leave me. That fear no longer exists because it doesn't matter. You want what's best for the people around you. And if that decision is for them to go on to bigger and better things that are beyond you, that's okay. Because if you truly want what's best for the people that are on your team, then that's what they want and that's what they feel is best for them, then you have to support them no matter what. So developing to the best possible humans that they can become. So what I always like to do is no matter what I learn, no matter what I'm educating myself on at the moment, no matter what I'm doing, I try to make it a point on a daily and weekly basis to transfer that to the people on my team to help them grow. So if I'm growing with something and I've learned something, I want to transfer that to them as well so that they can grow, they can learn something new, and they could take their development to another level. You know, one of the things that we started doing recently is I've allocated $50 a month to every employee to educate themselves and learn and buy books and buy courses and whatever it is. $50 a month, they are allocated up to $50 per month where they can buy a course, they can buy books, they can buy whatever it is they want to continue to educate themselves in what they want to actually learn. And, you know, I noticed a lot of gratitude for that, but also, you know, more development for them to get better. So One thing that I wanted to focus on today was the human capital side of it. Now, there are other capitals as well. I talked about structural capital, which is the SOPs and systems and processes, but then there's also the customer capital. What are you doing to make sure that you are developing loyal customers, that are repeated customers that come back for more and more? I talk about recurring revenue and subscription models all the time. Well, you better treat your customer well if they're going to keep coming back and if they're going to commit to you to come back more and more and more. So your customer capital is very, very important. And then the last one is the social capital. Social capital is not social media. It's just how the people, how the public actually view your company and view your brand. Are you consistent with your brand, your colors, and the way you are? When somebody sees your business on Google My Business, are the reviews good? Do they see something positive? When they go on your website, is it just a bunch of stuff, or is it some actual people and actual testimonials and customers and stuff like that? Like, is it, what does your business actually present to the public, and what does it actually look like? Those are the four most important things when it really comes to scaling your business. You have to focus on the human capital, the customer capital, the structural capital, and the social capital, so you could ultimately from there focus on the things that need to be focused on so that you could scale your business. One thing that we're doing right now is we're launching this new business. This new business is basically about exit planning and business brokering and really scaling your business, getting a valuation on your business, getting a valuation on your wealth goal and what you want at the end of your life, and increasing that over time. You're going to be seeing a lot of ads, right? I'm going to be shooting ads today, and you're going to be seeing a lot of ads. So if you are a business owner, one thing that we do is we offer a value clarity report, and that includes a lot. It's a huge assessment when it comes down to not only your business, but also your personal stuff, like what you want in your life. How much money do you need to retire? When you are scaling a business, I think one of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make is they never actually focus with the end in mind. They think that they're just going to continue to grow the business, grow the business, grow the business. I'm an entrepreneur. I'll never stop working. I'll always keep working. That's okay. But when you have this business that you are actually growing, you are putting your time and effort and sweat and money into, you want to have some kind of idea of an end in mind of how much you're going to scale it to. You're going to scale it to 1 million, 10 million, 20 million, 30 million. You want a sales price of a certain amount. Everybody's got a dollar amount, but if you're not focused on what your actual valuation is from the beginning and continue to increase that valuation over time, then you're really just kind of in a hamster wheel and not really getting to any of the goals that you want to get to. So if you are a business owner, if you own a business, I'm telling you right now, get a valuation on your company. It's very, very important. It gives you a really, really nice baseline as to sort of where you're at. And then you could think of that number that you actually want to get to. Now, your personal stuff is actually very important as well. Your personal finance, your personal goals. What is it that you want to do? If you're not running the business, what's something that really lights you up, that really actually gets you going? And if you ultimately want to sell your business one day and you have no idea what your valuation is today, and you're not implementing the necessary things like the four capitals that you need to do and grow those parts of the business to ultimately increase the valuation of your business, but you also want to sell your business one day, but then what are you doing if you're not doing that? If you want to sell your business one day and you're not focusing on actually increasing the value of your business, not just increasing the revenue, not just increasing your profit, not just hiring more people, whatever that is, you got to focus on the actual value of your business. And there are certain ways to do that. You have to implement certain things in order to increase the value. Did you know that 70 to 80% of businesses that go to market don't sell? 70 to 80% of businesses that go to market end up not selling, end up getting taken off of the market because they cannot find a buyer. Because they can't find a buyer that's going to pay the amount that seller wants. I had one just recently. We had a business that was up for sale and we had to pull it off because it just didn't make sense. If you do not have a transferable company to the new person that's coming in, if it is not generating enough cash flow so the buyer could get, what ends up happening is either you don't find a buyer that's interested in the business, or you find a buyer that's interested in the business and negotiates the crap out of you and ends up really taking that price of the business much lower than what you had wanted to actually sell it for. So you have to be careful and make sure that when you are ultimately, preparing for this, you have to have all of the right things in place in order for you to do that, so that you could ultimately sell it for what you actually want to sell it for. Besides the fact that 70 to 80% of businesses that go up to market do not sell. The other issue that you have is the fact that if they do sell, they just sell for a fraction of the amount. The biggest issue we have with people who are selling their businesses is they think it's worth a lot more than it actually is. They think it's worth a lot more than it actually is. Like, that's freaking crazy. It happens all the time. Every business owner thinks their business is worth more than what it actually is. Until we actually break down the numbers, and until we actually break down the four capitals, until we actually break down the fact of how much money you're making in recurring revenue, what's your cash flow like, how owner dependent are you working like 60 hours a week in the business? If you're doing those things, guess what? And you want to sell your business for $1 million, good luck for selling it for 500. And that's what you're going to end up getting. Oh, but I want $1 million. It's like, all right, great. Well, you better implement these things first over the next year, over the next 3 years, if you actually want to get to that number. Because there are multiples that are put onto businesses depending on the industry. So if you have, let's say, an EBITDA or an SDE, or whichever one you want to use, depending on the size of your business, of $1 million, and you now want to sell your business for $5 million, you might not even get a 2x multiple. And they might just want to buy it for 1.5 million or 2 million. Now, if you've got all of those things in place, you could potentially sell that $1 million EBITDA for 5 million, for 6 million. That's a huge difference. I broke it down yesterday to somebody. I said the difference between a high multiple and a low multiple is huge. If you get a 2x multiple, what makes a public adjusting firm valuable to potential buyers? Revenue, lead funnels. I would say, honestly, diversity. Mooney Love is asking, what makes a public adjusting firm valuable? I'm going to say diversity. And the reason why I say that, if your business model as a public insurance adjuster is strictly relying on the insurance company to pay, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard pressed for you to sell that company for top value. Now, I know that there's private equity firms out there that are buying public adjusting firms, but the public adjusting firms that they are buying have incredible, and what's the other word I'm looking for? Impeccable systems and processes where everything flows like a freaking insurance company. All those claims and the follow-ups and the process of processing the actual claim is just so freaking iron tight that it just works like a machine. That's the only way a public adjusting firm could be valuable. But there are other ways that a public adjusting firm could be valuable, and that's obviously not it being owner dependent, but I would also say in diversifying your revenue. As public adjusters, we don't only have to work claims. We can provide pre-loss risk assessments and inspection reports to people. We can help insurance agents provide inspection reports. Like, there's just other ways that public adjusting firms and public adjusters don't realize that they could actually make money with the skills that they have as public adjusters that don't only rely on claims. I have actually spoken to a lot of water mitigation companies, one in which had 90% of its revenue tied up in insurance claims and 10% of its revenue tied up in small minor repairs and fixer-ups for property management companies. And I said, that is amazing. Now you need to get to a point where you bring that insurance claim dependent down from 90% to 50% and take that 10% for the property management firm or property management companies and increase that to 50%. Because now you've got diversified customers. Customer capital, another thing that comes with customers, are your customers diversified? Are you getting revenue from different kinds of customer sources and not reliant just on one? And although as public adjusting firms, we get paid by the insured, technically we're getting paid by the insurance company because that check is not coming until the insurance company check comes in. So I would say that if you really want to increase the value of a public adjusting firm, find other sources of revenue that aren't just insurance claims. I know it's a bold statement, and there's probably not a single public adjusting firm that does it, but that's just my 2 cents on it. And then also the systems and processes have to be freaking super, super tight. So yeah, so if you guys are going to walk out of anything with this live here, is making sure that the people that are around you in your company are freaking iron tight, man, that they're out there getting after it for you, that they understand what your vision is. They understand what it is that you're trying to do. They see your goals. Your goals are in line with their goals. Passed our real estate class yesterday, state test on the way. Good job, Hungry Judd. Making sure that the people around you that your vision and your goals are in line with their vision and their goals. You hear people all the time, business owners say, well, my company and my employees don't care as much as I do. No freaking kidding. Why would they? It's not their company. They're just trying to get a paycheck and trying to live the life that they want to live. But they also have goals. They also have dreams. They also have aspirations. And I try to make sure that what I'm doing with my goals and my aspirations, especially with the company, are in line with the people that we have working for us. I know all of my team's goals and I know all of their dreams and aspirations. A few of them even want to start their own companies, and I'm all about it. And I want to teach them what we are doing now with this company. I want them to learn everything that we are doing so that they could go ahead and apply it to their company when that time comes, that it's time for them to go all in on that. And I will be there to support them and hold their hand throughout the entire freaking process to make sure that they're able to be successful with that as well. That's how you get a culture of just sheer positivity and people who will die in a sword for you when they know that that I'm not just out there looking for my best interest, because I am not. I know that my success is going to have a direct result on their success as well. I just know it. Just that's the person that I am, and that's what we're trying to do here. And we've got 2 people in the company that want to start their own little agencies and stuff like that. And I'm so excited about that, because what we are doing. Wait until you see the next couple of weeks. Next couple of weeks are going to be interesting. You're going to see my pretty face out there a lot more. I'm actually going to shoot these ads right now and knock these suckers out, because I think it's going to be a nice, good little fun, wild ride that we're going to be on. So yeah, if you want to scale a company, make sure that you're doing the right things. If you're interested at all in finding out more about how you could actually do that, find out more about the 4 C's and find out more about all the different things, book a Calendly with me. Book it, book it, book it. Because I always say a business you can sell is a great business to own. Because at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to, running and building a well-oiled machine. And we are building a well-oiled machine here at Vince Perri, at Commercial Claims Advocate, Elite Resolutions, Business Broker, Exit Strategist, so many freaking different things. But no, the main focus right now is really with the exit strategy and making sure that we're helping entrepreneurs get a valuation on their company and have an understanding of what it is where they are today and where they want to go in the future, so that they can go next level with everything that they do. So, all right, guys, that's it. That's all I really had today. I want to get into these ads that I'm going to be shooting and just go all in. I do appreciate those that were on the show today. We went about almost 20 minutes, not too bad. And yeah, we will be back next week for more. Guys, have an amazing weekend. Have an amazing Friday. Get some time to rest. Get some time to yourself. Enjoy your time with your friends and your family, and make sure that you come re-energized for Monday. All right, guys, we will see you next week.